Hello, Sydney. Welcome to our green lane. Thank you very much for coming. I'm going to take you on a little bit of an emotional roller coaster. I'm going to make you a little bit angry because I'm going to explain how there's some current inefficiencies, inadequacies with the way that we get our energy and water. But hopefully by the end of the ride, you're going to all be happy again and transported back to your happy laneway when I outline some of the programs underway at the City of Sydney. So, you may or may not know, but Australians are the worst, among the worst in the world per capita emissions, greenhouse gas emissions. In the City of Sydney, for example, 80% of the greenhouse gas emissions are coming from coal-fired electricity. Coal-fired electricity is the evil elephant in the room, let's say. So that's not really a good statistic, but thankfully there is something that we can do about this. Now, think about this. It's taken millions of years for fossil fuels to develop, and we've used most of the known reserves within a couple hundred years. So even if there was a few hundred years left, it just defies logic to think that that's a sustainable energy source into the future. Even the International Energy Agency, the big boys, say that it's not sustainable. So what about the other elephant in the room? And I'm not talking about the elephant in the room, I'm talking about that air conditioning unit. Every $1,500 air conditioner that people are putting in at the moment is costing $7,000 to the network to build a big enough electricity network to get enough electricity in on those 2 days of the year when everyone turns on their air conditioning. And this is costing a lot of money, people. We're talking about $45 to $46 billion out to 2014 and more after that. This is more than broadband, but has anybody heard about it? They reckon that 10 to 20% of people's electricity bills, which are increasing, is for those 2 days of the year. Surely there's got to be a better way. Now, this goes without saying. We're currently using probably one of the worst greenhouse fuels for a start to generate our power. Then we're using it in 1800s technology. That actually throws away 2/3 of the energy in the coal, gets thrown away as heat straight away, and then we lose more in transmission just getting it to the city. So we're getting all these like nice dirty electrons to power our energy efficient, technologies. And they talk about baseload. Oh, you can't have renewable energy because we need the baseload. Well, that's not true, because baseload is the minimum amount of energy that we need. And that's actually been going down in the last few years. It's the peak that's going up. And you can't turn a coal power fire station on or off. It's either on or it's off. So that's called spinning reserve. It should be called spinning yarn. Likewise, clean coal. What is it? Clean coal is that. It's a piece of coal which should stay in the ground. It's not cost effective now to generate electricity and take the carbon emissions out of the coal. It's not going to be into the future. Renewable energy is getting cheaper and cheaper. So that's the way we've got to put our efforts. So what should we do? Right, we've got to use energy more efficiently. I'm sure we'll probably even hear tonight, but buildings of the future are probably going to be net exporters of energy. We've got to have more renewables. We can have 100% renewables. That's a no-brainer. We've also got to generate energy more efficiently locally through trigeneration. I'll tell you what that is. And that's going to get us to our utopia. So what is trigeneration? It's burning gas locally. It's three forms of energy. It's electricity, heating, and cooling. So when you burn fuel to generate electricity, you get a lot of heat. So it's like the heater of your car. You capture that heat and you use it to heat your buildings instead of electricity. And you can actually use that heat. You can put hot water into what's called an absorption chiller and get cold water out. So you can actually get your air conditioning needs of your buildings using a waste heat product instead of this electricity, which is contributing to this peak energy problem that we keep talking about. So it's kind of like win-win. So trigeneration is about twice as efficient as the current system we're talking about. So I've done the math. The current system's like going to a bar during a peak period, say on a Friday afternoon, ordering 3 beers, paying $2,500 and only getting 1 beer, whereas the trigeneration system we're talking about, you'll pay normal price and you'll get 2 beers. It's logical. Now, it's not just eggs that are organic. About half of the waste that we send to landfill or whatever was once living, so it's organic, and that's actually got a lot of energy in it. And we've actually looked at it, and there's enough energy within 250 kilometres of the city that we could even run that whole entire trigeneration network. So we've got to start redefining the way we look at waste. So this is where our greenhouse gas emissions will be in 2030 if we don't do anything. The city's actually got a pretty ambitious target to reduce those emissions by 70%, and also for no reliance on coal-fired electricity by 2030. So in less than 20 years' time, people, there's not going to be coal-fired electricity powering this city. Now, trigeneration is going to get us a lot of the way there, but it's not the total solution. those renewable gases that I talked about, that'll get us down further. Renewable energy, energy efficiency will get us down even further. We can get off fossil fuels in this city by 2030. I just want to reiterate that. Now I'm going to talk about water. At the moment, we've got an overflowing dam at Warragamba. At the same time, we've got this energy dense and highly emitting desalination plant operating at full capacity. Why? I don't know. It gets treated to drinking water quality, gets lost in leaking pipes, goes to the toilet, flushed out to sea. So like we only use 2% of our brain, we only use 2% of the water for drinking. The rest doesn't have to be drinking water quality. What we're proposing is a decentralized recycled water network that would actually collect and treat wastewater locally and just keep topping it up as required rather than keep flushing it out to Bondi. So we can't underestimate the role of renewables in getting us to our targets either. In 6 hours, there's enough sun to power the whole world if those systems are in place. And Australia, and Sydney in particular, obviously has abundant solar resources. We're absolutely certain, without a doubt, there's enough non-intermittent renewable energy in Australia to power all of our needs. Now, people will say, what about China and America? I'm not doing anything until they do. Well, if you look at all these countries on this side, they're all like 1 or 2%. Pretty much nothing, but they all add up to more than China and America. What it says is that we've all got to act on this together at the individual and the government level. And people are doing it. California, it's currently using 20% renewables. Sweden, it's 50% already. And here we've got an international energy expert, Allan Jones, not the evil one, the good one, and this dedicated team who are going to make this green infrastructure happen. So to tell you a bit more about green infrastructure, because we're the city, we've actually broken the rules and we're going to play you a quick video. So thank you very much.